Hey everybody, welcome back. Today we have a special one. I say special. It is another backyard cleanup. I'll show you what we have here in a second. Stick around. Alright, thanks for sticking around everybody. Today we have a Ford F-150 with a bit of a wiring issue. Show you here. This is a 2017 Ford F-150 FX4. Customer states that his amp for his sub has been cutting out, not working right. So we're going to do a little cleanup on it. Taking a quick look here. We got some cleanup on the wiring, make that look a little nicer. As you can see, it runs across the back of the engine bay, just kind of drapes in there, goes through the grommet, but they pulled the grommet out. I don't know if you can see that or not. Try and get some light down in there, but the grommet's not even touching in place. That's the same with the little red and black wires there too. That's for his light bar that we're going to be cleaning up the wiring. Let's see here. Let's see what it looks like up under the dash. Again, you can see how right through the grommet, it does come under the seat, so that's a good thing. Or under the sill. Then it goes across. Just right across the floor to the other side. Let's go take a look over there. Let's see what we have going on this side. We have the wire that came across the floor going right up to the amp. Just kind of shoved in there. We'll take a better look at it later. The ground's up there on the wall. Tucked in underneath. See if I can't get a decent view of that. Tucked in underneath the safety strap. And the RCAs, well, they're just kind of coming in there too. So, let's start stripping things out. We're going to run this better. Make it a little nicer. Highlight a few things a little bit more. And see if we can't make this work better. So here we go. Let's start taking stuff out. Alright, thanks for sticking around. As you can see, I've got the power wire out of the vehicle now. That was quite quick and easy. Cut a couple zip ties and it just pulls straight out. So now, our plan is reinstall everything. I'm going to put the fuse holder right here. I'm going to bend up a piece of plastic, come right off the edge of here. We're going to run it down in through the grommet that's down there in the passenger kick panel. So that'll keep anything from draping across the top of the motor like that. And then we're going to run that back, get the RCAs rerun, make sure they're still good. Same with the remote on. And redo the ground. See what we have for available wire for it. And where this is a 2017 Ford F-150, they started with their aluminum bodies. and aluminum bodies don't make the world's greatest grounds. So we'll see if we can't find something decent. If not, we're going to come right back to the battery and have 2 runs going back there. It's not a huge amp he has, so we'll see what happens. So let's get a fuse holder mounted, get some plastic bent up, get it put in place, and get this started. Alright, as you just saw, I don't know how well quality that was, but you just saw me working on this. This is going to go right here like that. As you can see, I've got it kind of bent going up a little bit. And that's just to kind of bring it up a little bit higher. No other reason. Fuse holder will be zip tied here, mounted down, and keep it nice and safe out of the way. So I'm going to go drill a couple more holes, get this bolted in place, and I'll show you what we have. Alright, thanks for sticking around. Here we are. As you can see, we've got the fuse holder mounted. I got it zip tied in place. It's not going anywheres. It goes up, and then it goes way down and into our rubber grommet, which is in place, not pulled away from the metal like the other side. This wire here, that one's just going to reach around and connect right up here, so it'll look nice and clean anyway. Try and get you a better view of how it's going to be. It'll just come around, follow this wire here, and bolt right back there. Now, all we have to do is finish running it through the rest of the vehicle, get the ground wire run, and go from there. So stick around. I'll show you more as we go. Okay, here we are. We're back. We've got the power wire run. It's kind of hard to see it. The little black wire right here goes right along there. Ends up out back. I haven't got completely finished back there. The wire, as you can see, it comes out up there, in behind that fuse box, and then throughout. As you can see, I've already removed the RCAs, and I'm getting ready to move the remote on wire, which is just kind of shoved into a fuse right there. We're going to take that up behind the aftermarket radio that's in this. We put this radio in before, and it was the Idadalink Maestro FTR1 dash kit with a module, and it fits in there real nice. So we're going to get ready to pop that out, check the running of the RCAs, rerun the remote on wire, and then we'll be ready to hook up an amp, get it mounted, and see if this thing still works. Stick around. Hey, thanks for sticking around, everybody. We're now working on, behind the radio, getting the RCAs and the remote on going. I just popped the top of the dash off to get to the back of the radio. I found my line out converter right there, just kind of sitting down in there. There's my RCAs. I'm kind of curious, how much bass do you think's going through that center speaker? I don't think there's much going into a little speaker like that. I think you could be missing some bass. So we're gonna get this rewired. I'm gonna finish pulling out the radio, and we're gonna hook this up right. Alright, we have the radio back in. I got the sub outputs on it. I've got the line out converter removed. Didn't need that in there anymore. There it is. We also have the illumination wire hooked up, because apparently with that radio, if you don't have the illumination hooked up, it doesn't light up anything. So that's fixed. Line-up converters fixed. Remote on wires actually connected to the radio, and the remote and the RCA's are run, and I got them run here as well. You can see them coming down right here, go along the channel here, and work their way out back. I did remove the ground off the back, and if you remember, it was up there on one of the seatbelt anchor points. At least it's a solid bolt, but all they had was just the tip of it under the, you can see, let's see if I can get a good angle here for you. You can see how it was just holding on to the edge of that terminal, or the lug. So that really wasn't holding much. So we are going to find a better ground, get the amp and sub put back in, get it mounted up a little nicer, and get him thumping again. So let's start making this look better. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around again. Here we are, just about to finish up on the audio for today. As you can see, I got this all back together. Show you up in the fuse box where you had wire before. No wires coming out of that fuse box anymore. They're all tucked in, out of sight, nice and neat. Here's where we have the amp. It's only just a single cab. So I decided I was going to put the amp underneath the box, or underneath the seat here. You can see I got the wires run nice and neat. And then the sub box, we're going to make some kind of bracket to hold it against the back wall there. That way the seat's not hitting the sub. And keeps it safe. However, I did make one fatal mistake. I assumed that the amp worked. And upon testing, I found out it didn't. I tested it. I had 14 volts on the main terminals. I had 13 volts on the remote on. And my little red light in the W for the Kenwood did not come on. So I tried a few things, checked a few things, and still nothing. So, take note, always check your equipment before installing, especially if it's secondhand. Usually I do, but for some reason this time I didn't. So, that's going to be it for today. Customer does say he's got another one we can hook up and try. I'm going to have him bring that out and go from there. So for right now, I'm going to hold off on this and get started on the LED light bar on the front. See if we can't get that fixed up and working. So, time to get dirty under the truck. Alright, here we are under the truck. We do have a bit of a wiring mess. Let's see what we can get going here. See, one wire is separated. Not quite sure where that goes. Same with that one. Let's get past this roll of electrical tape holding this stuff together. Let's see what it gives us. Okay, I see what they did. That was meant for two lights, not a single light. That's what's going on there. So, we've got to open up this whole harness, figure out what's usable, what's needed, and what I can get rid of. So I can see I can get rid of these, because that goes to this end of the harness that was never hooked up. And then we have it goes straight up to the battery. Okay. So let's bring this up here. The wire goes straight up from down there to this relay to here. And then it goes and cuts all the way across. A whole bunch of taped together spots. And then goes into the cab of the vehicle. Okay. Now I kind of have sense of what's going on. Let's make it right. Okay. After some more looking into this harness, I've found stuff I didn't expect to see. First, we have this. Somebody at some point cut that wire, pieced on another one. This is the one that goes to the switch. And then I found this one. Let's get some light in there on that. There we go. And I can see the black wire is connected. The one that they ran. I can see another black wire is connected. But I don't see the red wire connected. So, I think it's safe to say here's where the problem with it not working starts from. So we're going to do a lot of cleanup on this wiring, make it right, get it working, and go from there. So let's see what we can do. Alright, we are still continuing on with this truck. We have the light switch rewired. It now goes through the firewall. And the grommets back in there. Gotta pull it back in a little bit, but get it situated again. But it is back through it. And it's not just left open like that. It comes out through this side, just like it did before. And I've got my harness here. That now I've just got to get this run through over to the other side where the battery is and the rest of the harness, and see if it works. So here we go. Okay, as you can see, no more wires across the top of the engine. We've got a run down all in under here, underneath this panel here, coming out with the rest of the wire harness over here. We've got the top of the battery cleaned up, so you don't have any wires just sitting right on top. I've still got to come in, clean up on these wires here a little bit, and finish putting the harness back together. Because as you saw earlier, we had some nasty connections there. Don't know what's under that, but I'm sure it's no better than this one. And then once those are all back together, we should have a light bar that works. So, here's hoping, and time to get back at it. Alright, we're just about to test this. Let's see. Oh yeah. It works nicely. It's time to put everything back together. Customer's going to be here shortly for it. And we'll go from there. Alright, here we are. New amp, just a Sony Explode 800. We've got it wired up. You can see the wire comes out of there. It's all zip tied together, tucked in. I did leave this here with a little length for him. He said he's going to be modifying that a little bit here in the future, so wasn't too worried. But it's all hooked up. It works. A whole lot better than it was before. So, time to button things up and continue on. We got the light bar, it's done, it's working. As you saw, I had the wires all nice and cleaned up on it. Right there. No more wiring on the top. Fuse holder's all set. There's the light bar. So that's all good. Time to give it back to a customer. Hey everybody, thanks for sticking around. If you made it this far, then you've seen the finished product of the stereo. Customer's got it, he's more than happy. As you saw, I had to rewire the power wire, redid the RCAs, got rid of the line out converter, and redid the remote on. And then we made harness for the light bar, as there was issues within that harness as well. Everything's working. Like I said, customer's happy. He's been a regular customer. Great guy to deal with. And hopefully this lasts him a lot longer than it did originally. And we'll be on to the next one. Next up, we're going to do some ceramic coating here in the very near future. I got some headers for a truck to do. I got a bumper for a Can-Am four-wheeler, and I've still got some rims that I'm going to be powder coating off a Mustang and a Ford F-150. So, if you want to see some of that, if you like what you've seen, drop a like, drop a subscribe, let me know, even leave a comment, say hi, great job, all that good stuff, and I'm going to get on making another video for you guys. So till next time, stay warm, keep it loud.